All right, in this video, I'm going to attempt to share what I think is going on with Leviticus 27 regarding vows. This is a complicated chapter by any means. Like, most people don't want to read Leviticus because there's so much stuff in it, and I've been reading it a few times over the past couple of days. And here is my honest opinion of what I think is going on in Leviticus 27. And if you agree, disagree, whatever, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. And then feel free to comment. And we'll see how long this video is going to be. So this is all based on chapter 27. So, all right, so we got shekels. And what I did was I drew this up almost like if you were to compare this to stock market, if you will, or the price of $1. What I mean is I just converted everything. So a shekel equals a coin. 1 drachma equals 1 day's wage. So there's 4 drachmas per coin. Shekel price is 20 guras at the current price of the tabernacle or the sanctuary. So what that means is if you have a person that comes in and they're aged between 20 to 60 years old, they will get 50 shekels of silver from the priest, which is valued at $50,000. If a lady were to come in between ages 20 to 60, she will get 30 shekels of silver because there is a chance she's a higher risk of paying back that money by the year of Jubilee because she could have children and all kinds of stuff. So there's a little bit of a higher risk. This is basically credit rating. Male child 5 to 20. Maybe a dad comes in and says, hey, I have a child that age between 5 and 20 years old. Okay, here's 20 shekels of silver. That's 16K. Female, 8K, which is 10 shekels of silver. Maybe you have a child that's age 0 to 5. You would be able to get $4,000. Female, you get 3 or 2.4K. If a male were to come in that's a senior citizen, he's like, I just need a loan. Okay, you get $12,000. We'll approve you for a $12,000 line of credit. Basically, we'll give you 12K. You're probably not going to pay that back by 50 years of Jubilee, so you're a little bit of a higher risk. Same thing with the female. 8K is the most you'd be able to get. Compare that to someone that is in his prime. He would get a loan of 40K, and you got to pay it back before the year of Jubilee. All right, so the poor. If somebody comes in that maybe has a disability, maybe an injury, who knows what it is, but the priest can just tell, hey, this guy's, or he says, you know what, I might be 25 or 30 years old, but I'm not up to par. Maybe I'm overweight, inexperienced, whatever it is. I don't know. There could be a variety of reasons. But the priest will estimate the value based on his age and his skill level. And then he'll give him anywhere between 40K all the way down to 8K will be his loan. And then a beast for beast. So let's just say you have a beast and you're like, man, I just need an upgrade because my beast isn't so good. Maybe a little chubby, a little fat, whatever it is. You can exchange your beast for another one, but all exchanges are final, meaning you can't look at the beast that comes from the priest and go, oh, hey, this one isn't as good as the one I had. You take your chances, but chances are pretty good because the priests take care of the animals and they're usually of a higher quality. If it's an unclean beast, must be valued before the offer is made, and all offers are final. So when the priest makes an offer, you take it or leave it. You can't come back to him and say, hey, I want a little bit more. If you want to come back and buy the beast, the unclean beast later, say you come back the next day or a week later, whatever it is, you can actually buy it back, but you have to add 20% of whatever you got for it. If you want to sell your home to the priest will evaluate your home, of course, based on the neighborhood where you come from, all this kind of stuff. All sales prices are final. If you want to buy your home back, maybe you change your mind, or a year later, or whatever it is, you're making money from the purchase of the sale of the home. Maybe you invested it somewhere else, you bought some more land, whatever it is, you can buy your home back at an additional 20%. Basically, the priest is managing the bank, which is the sanctuary, bank of sanctuary. Fields, 1 homer per seed, for example. So I don't know, you could have several types of crops, whatever it is, but depending on the crop, it's valued at 1 homer, which would be 50 shekels of silver, which is 40K. So that tells you that land is worth quite a bit. So if you're selling the land to the priest will estimate it plus or minus according to the year of Jubilee. So I'll explain that on the next page here. So selling a field plus or minus a year, so 50 years, which means after Jubilee, the priest will calculate the value of the land based on how many years are left of Jubilee. So say you buy it the year after Jubilee, there's 49 years left, so your field will probably be at its highest value accordingly. If you're selling on the year of Jubilee, that's the value of that day. So it just depends, plus or minus, if you're 3 years before the year of Jubilee or 3 years after the Jubilee, that will be the value of your home. And then if you're buying it back, add 20% based on, again, the year of Jubilee. So if you buy it 5 years later, 10 years later, whatever it is, obviously the longer you wait, the less value the land will be as it gets closer to Jubilee, because most people get their lands back and all this kind of stuff on the day of the year of Jubilee. But you buy it back at 20%. So you could wait, but 50 years is a long time to wait. If you sell your field to another person, it cannot be redeemed anymore. So once you sell it and you make that transition, that title, you can't go back and redeem it and all this kind of stuff. You just have to wait to the year of Jubilee and you'll get your land back that way. Don't go through the priest. It's not redeemed. If it's not redeemed by the year of Jubilee, it becomes the priest's property. If the field is bought from someone else, which it's not yours, then what the priest will do, he won't take your word for it. He'll just estimate the value of your field that you now have in your hands, and he'll base it, again, according to the year of Jubilee, plus or minus. No selling of men, especially the men that are on death row. He cannot be redeemed, and or you can't be selling slaves and all this kind of stuff. So that's a no-no. Can't do that. Tithe of the land, add 20%, so you can actually buy back your tithe, but you just tack on 20% of it. Same thing of the herd. If you want to, you have maybe you just gave a cattle or whatever to the priest or whatever, and you want to, that's your tithe, you want to buy it back. Instead of having it sacrificed, you can buy it back at 20%, but all buybacks are final, meaning you can't look at the bull that you just got from the priest and go, hey, I don't think this is as good of quality as the bull that I sold to you originally, because it'll probably be a different one. So all sales are final. You just tack on 20%. So hopefully that explains the bank of sanctuary. This is kind of, I don't know if this is 100% accurate, but when I run this through my mind, this seems to be what is going on here, some kind of a banking system that's set up by the Jews. Not surprising, this is probably why they are very rich in the world. It's not a stereotype, it's just a fact. There are a lot of Jews that are very successful, and maybe it's because they knew Leviticus a little bit better than us. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment. Bye for now.